All right, so I have a fun project for you today. It features designer series paper, and you can remake this design with so many different designer series papers, and that's one of the reasons why I love it. I'm also using one of my favorite new sets of dies and a stamp set that I love as well. Let me just quickly jump on over, and I'm going to show you what I'll be using today. So this is the All About Autumn Suite. Now, some of these products, including the designer series paper that I'm using today, it ran out. So, but it's coming back really soon. It's supposed to be back in stock on September 11th. So I figured I can show this because people will be able to get it fairly soon. And this is, it's fall, right? We want to be doing fall themed projects. I love the color scheme in this suite and in the designer series paper. So this is the suite I'm using, and these are the dies I mentioned that are my favorite new dies. I especially like these shapes. Used these a bunch of times, not so much the banners yet, but they're a great fun set of dies. So that is one thing I'm using, and then I'm using the designer series paper. I'm going to show you some of the patterns here. There are the A sides and the B sides. There's lots of different patterns in this paper, some of which are beautiful scenes. I love these books and the leaves. And these are just some. And then the back sides are all these gorgeous, sumptuous copper with copper elements. There's also some greens. I think I have those maybe out off to the side. Yeah, so just beautiful, beautiful papers. The papers that I'm using on the project I'm sharing tonight are these ones. I posted these earlier. And this paper here, this one with the whatever it is, the leather. I thought, how am I ever going to use that? Well, I found a use for it. I'm super excited that I integrated it into this design. And we got pumpkins and leaves, and then of course fall trees. And you can see I'm using that die that I've cut out there. You see that shape? Those are the papers that I'm going to be using. I've done all the die cutting ahead of time. Hi, Megan. Good to see you here. So glad to see people joining in. All right. So again, I'm using this. And then one of my new favorite sets, Phrases for All. Love these bold, simple sentiments. So the project that I'm sharing with you tonight is actually a variation on a project that I did for the Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle. This is the project that my project is based on. I'm just doing it in the fall colors. You love the fall paper, Mary Beth? Yes, me too. Hi, Carol from Florida. Yay. So glad you're here. And welcome, your first time. I love that. All right. So this is the basic design. This is the Les Shop designer series paper with these simple kind of patterns here. And this was created for the August Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle, which is something that people who place orders with me at any size will get one of these each month. So there's a new tutorial bundle each month based upon a suite. So this one is still the one that's live, the one that's going to be coming in September. That's not published yet in, I believe it's Countryside Inn, I think. Countryside Inn. But this is still current. If you place an order in the next few days, you should still be able to get the Les Shop. All right. So again, this is the suite that I'm using, All About Autumn. And I'm going to set that aside for the moment. Now, you guys all know that, or maybe you know, maybe you don't know, the new Stampin' Up! Mini catalog is now live. And of course, I just showed you it. That's the cover. And it is an amazing catalog. Just love this catalog. Went live just yesterday. So now we can get so many wonderful new products. Okay, so again, I'm using the All About Autumn. And let me bring in some of my papers here. So for this one, I'm using a card base that is our early espresso. And I've got a second layer here that is just a 4 by 5 1/4. So it's a little bit smaller. That's going to kind of be a little bit invisible in the end. And I'll put that there so you guys can see what I'm doing. All right, so we're going to start building this sort of patchwork of shapes here. I've done all my die cutting ahead of time, and I'm using 4 different patterns. So I've got this fall trees, and my pumpkins, the leaves, and then the fourth one is this leather piece. And that's going to be the backing to my sentiment. All right. So what I like to do is use my sentiment piece as kind of the anchor for the layout. And it's going to be justified all the way up to this side. Now this is going to be popped up on dimensionals, but since I'm using it to kind of get my spacing of everything, I'm going to put a little bit of designer paper, adhesive on the back, and kind of just get that into place and kind of gauge my spacing of my pieces. And I'm going to be putting this colorful one off to the right, and my leaves off to the left, and I'm just kind of gauging my spacing at this point. And then I've got my pumpkin piece down at the bottom. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Sharon. Yay, so glad to see you here. Yes, so fall is my favorite season. Now here in the South, you'd never know that it was actually fall because it's been in like the 90s, 80s, and super humid. I am so done with the humidity. Could you please go away? Give me some beautiful fall crisp weather. Thank you very much. That's my wish anyway. All right, so let's see if I got my spacing here. Now I'm going to be using the scrap, leftover scrap, to fill in my gaps. So I want to make sure that I've got my spacing just so there's enough room. There's going to be a little itty bitty piece there at the top. Okay, so that's pretty much what I got. So I'm going to start attaching these pieces. On this one, I just need that side of it. Oh, here's one of the beautiful Mossy Meadow metallic pieces on backside. Yes, I didn't check on the stamp set, but the paper I know, which I was trying to order more of it on yesterday, was not available when I went to go place my order. But it is coming back on the 11th. I'm just going to get my spacing there, gauging my adhesive and seeing if I have enough on there. Fortunately, it's coming back. There are some things that went away that aren't going to be back for quite a while. So like the glow-in-the-dark paper was one of the items that is not coming back for a while. It's so sad, right? Because Halloween, you got to prepare for Halloween. Those of you who wanted that paper, hopefully you got it. All right, so let's do this fall leaves piece. Let's see, I want to make sure I'm going in the right direction. I want those leaves kind of coming down from the tree. I'm trying to visualize that. Here's the original piece, how it fits in there. It's so pretty. All right, so let's do this. Another of the Mossy Meadow patterns. That's one of my favorites. So now I will say, in case you're not aware, I have a new class, and it is actually featuring the All About Autumn suite. So we'll be using some of these papers. So I'm very relieved, of course, that it's going to be back soon, so I can order what I need for the class. And this one's a little bit too over. Build my little puzzle here. So yes, I have 3 gorgeous projects made with this suite. Some using the specialty papers, the metallic elements on the back with the copper. Some that I've used just ink to make my own background. And they're really beautiful projects, if I might say so myself. I have them off to the side over there. I may show you guys if you want to see. Oh, Jan. Hi, Jan. Good to see you here. Hey, Jolene. Yay. Looking up, get to see who's joining in. In the low 70s here. Love that weather. Low 70s. That's what I like. I was gone over the weekend, and we were in the West Virginia mountains, and we had some beautiful weather there because they're at about 3,000 feet or so. Let's see if I got enough on there. And it was really pretty. And we even had sunshine. It wasn't raining. no clouds. We saw beautiful stars. I love going out into sort of more natural places where you can take advantage and see the night sky. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You know what else we saw as I put this together? Okay, so here's what I got so far. We also saw some geese at night. We saw this line of light. And when I first looked, I thought like I was seeing a comet, but it just like stayed in the sky, and it was so cool. We actually looked up a bunch of information about geese afterwards to know why they come out at night. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and trim off some of these pieces. Now I'm going to be using this piece over to fill in that gap, this piece to fill in that one, and then this one to fill in over here. So I'm just realizing I might have to die cut another piece for over here because I've gone a little bit low. Oh well, we're going to just see what happens. Okay. So I need a straight edge. So I'm going to actually go upside down. And since I can't put it up against this edge, I'm going to use my finger against the edge of the trimmer. And just trim off that piece, just like that. And then I'm going to trim off this. Now I can put my hand up against the edge of the trimmer over here on the right. Make sure it's butt up against there. Trim that off. Just going all the way around. Now that one, I really wanted that top piece and I wanted it to be long. So let's go here. And there's that piece. Let's see what I can use of these leftover pieces. When I did this the first time, I only used the 4 die cut pieces and then I pieced them together into the remaining spots. And I'm already thinking about what other designer papers I can use for this layout because it's just a really fun one. All right, so, and I don't know about you, but I thought about like turning them over and mixing up doing the metallics with the other, but it just doesn't work for me. I kind of like just sticking with those natural tones. Okay. Let's see what we got. So now I could use this one on the bottom. Yeah, I'm still going to need a piece up here. Let's see if this one will fit. Obviously, I did the spacing just a little bit different on this, so I might be die cutting another piece. Well, that actually fits up there if I wanted to. And I just need to use this one on the bottom. Yeah, I could do that. I think that's what I'll do. All right, so let's go ahead and attach this. And then I'm going to trim them off again. Trim off that excess again. This is a pretty tiny little piece. It has adhesive on it already, but it might not be enough. So I'm going to actually grab my white glue because it's so small. I want to make sure I can get those edges. It's kind of just the right size to fit in there. But I want to make sure the points hold down. This one I'm going to let sit for a minute so it doesn't ooze out. Okay. Leave that sitting there. That's attached. And then we'll go ahead and attach this one. I know on the glow-in-the-dark paper, it's such a bummer that it's, I can't remember when it's coming back. It's sometime in October, so just pushing that time just a little bit for people who want to use it for Halloween. All right. All right, so now I'm going to do a little bit more trimming. I'm going to set this aside. It's got the glue on there, so I don't want to get it on anything. you do these pieces right, it's just nice that you can use just the 4 pieces and use the other parts to fill in the extra space. Okay, so let's trim that off. So as you can see, you're never really going to know that there's this extra layer back there, but it does allow you to kind of put this all together and trim off those edges. You can see I'm just going around and trimming off each of the pieces so that I end up with what looks, there you go. So there's my pattern. The piece with the glue is still a little bit wet, so I'm going to work on another piece now. So this is going to be the piece that has the sentiment on it. And I've stamped and die cut a few options. So I've got one in the, what is it called? Copper clay. It's one of the new in colors. And the other one is espresso, early espresso. Now these are vanilla cardstock. The vanilla goes really nicely with the earth tones. So we're just going to do 1 and 2, see what you guys think. So there's the espresso. It's going to have an espresso layer in behind it. And there's one other step too, so I'm not going to forget that. But there's the espresso. And there is the copper clay. Let me know what you think. Glow in the Dark is October 2nd. That's not too bad, actually, because that means it might come in time to do stuff for Halloween. But it's cutting it a little close, isn't it? Anyway, so copper clay. Okay, there's going to be a piece up there, of course. Let me know what you think. Or espresso. Now, I'm going to pull in some ribbon here. And I was thinking this would be the one I would use. This is the copper clay ribbon. And so we might change our mind depending on how it looks with the different ribbons. So I'm going to actually tie it around. I have one other ribbon option that I thought I'd play around with, but I have a feeling this is going to be the one I like. So this is the other ribbon I thought about using. This is part of the Earth and Textures. I think it's a little too busy. So I'm going to go ahead and just go with my gut and do this copper clay. And then we'll look at the sentiments again and see what we think. Ah, I see votes for copper clay. The ribbon is actually, it's a little bit more vibrant than the ink and the paper. Makes it, it's kind of shiny. It's got a little shimmer to it. It's a perfect fall color, this copper clay. Can you guys hear the thunder in the background here? It just started raining a little while ago, and the thunder is, it's pretty intense and raining. Those summertime rainstorms. Okay, definitely doing the copper clay. Okay, so you guys agree with me, the copper clay is the right ribbon. Now, it's pretty much all the way over off to the side. It's thicker ribbon than the one I used on my original cards. It's a little bit a fat little knot there. Okay, so let's see what the two pieces of the sentiments, how they look. This is going to be popped up. So there is the espresso. This needs to be over even more. Almost all the way to the edge. So if there's enough room. Okay, there's that espresso sentiment versus the copper clay sentiment. I guess I should bring it up to the camera. So there's that one, copper clay sentiment. You wish it would rain down there, Carol? You guys not had enough rain? I got a lot of rain this year. And that's the espresso. Espresso is the color of the card body, so I'm just going to keep an eye, you guys. Most people are saying copper clay. All right, now I've got this little piece now of the designer paper that you can see the glue has dried, so now I can hold it and it's not going to get sticky on my fingers. Love that. My little glue trick there. We're just going to tuck that in. It's like, how did it end up being exactly the right size? But it is. Literally exactly the right size. I didn't have to cut it down. That's something. Mary Beth says espresso. Oh, you're in a drought. Oh, that's not so good. Not good at all. All right. Let's go ahead and pop up our background designer paper piece first, and then we can figure out the sentiment. I really like this as the background to the sentiment. It just has a nice texture to it, but it doesn't look like a sofa, which sort of struck me as kind of funny. It was like a sofa. How am I going to use a sofa? All right, so that I want to straddle my ribbon there so that I don't end up with a problem. Have it popped up. So I'm going to just, hopefully that's not going to be in the way. Since this is just designer paper and I'm popping it up, I do want to have it to be a little bit thicker. More dimensionals is what I meant to say. Okay, we're going to trim off some of these smaller, thinner pieces so that it's not overlapping with the ribbon, ideally. There we go. So there I got that. I can't wait to play more with this specialty paper because it really is so pretty. I almost hate to cover it up. All right. You can't figure out the sofa in the set. The sofa, meaning the sofa designer paper, like I'm talking about. Is that what you mean? Let's see, with the ribbon, copper clay, without the ribbon, or different color espresso. Okay. I'm trying to understand your remarks here, Sharon. I'm not sure I understand. Let's see. Oh, you need rain too, Jan? I guess I'm the lucky one. We got rain here. Okay, so I'm just going to attach that on there. Got a nice little border on the sides, making my little puzzle here. Let's grab my good ribbon scissors. Trim this off. All right, I'm doing all the parts except for committing to the sentiment at this point. Get that figured out in a second. So I probably didn't finish saying the Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle is a set of 12 fairly simple tutorials created by the design team of fellow demonstrators. And each of the tutorials is 1 page long, and it always features a suite. So it's always, we do a variety of fun and fairly simple projects. And like I said, this was one of my designs. This is one of the design that I did for August with Lace Shop. I use designer paper a lot in my designs for that tutorial bundle. So a lot of times I don't have the stamp set that goes with it, so I just use all my embellishments, my coordinating embellishments and ribbon and designer paper. And okay, so there we go. We're back to, now we got the whole card laid out. So there's back to the copper clay. I have to look at this. And the espresso. I'm kind of partial to the espresso because it goes with this with the card base and a little bit more with the piece in behind. So I might be going against what you guys are saying. but I think that's my inclination, just to go with the copper clay. It's a little bit darker, a little more striking to me, stands out more. Now, you'll see on the back side, I always stamp on the back side of things, try it out. I tried some of the sentiments from the Autumn Leaves set, and it's just too small for this piece. So I went with the other set, Phrases for All. There we go, Phrases for All, that's what I used. You see, I had pretty much one other vote for espresso, and that was you, Mary Beth. So I can see you're happy about that. You're of like mind on the sentiment. I know it's also harder to see on camera than it is in person, and I do think it looks better with the espresso. So there we go. Isn't that pretty? All those pretty fall colors. Now, I normally wouldn't have the same designer paper pattern on the bottom, but it just kind of worked out that way. And I think it's okay. Just a little mashup of all the designer, just the 4 designer series papers that I used. And I have a piece for the inside, and I trimmed just a small thin strip of designer paper for the inside piece. And again, it's vanilla. So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on that and get that put in the inside. So tempted to use that, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna stay with the theme. All right, and this is a 3/8 inch piece of designer series paper for the inside. Let's put it on here. Let's see. Okay. Looking at where I put the adhesive on. I'm going to leave a little edge at the bottom. And then just trim it off and attach it to the inside. Sharon, you like the espresso too? Very good. Hi, Kathy. See you. Didn't see you before. Glad to see you here. If I didn't say it already, I don't think I did, please consider sharing this video and liking it. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really helps when you do that. So there's my simple little inside. Now this is a 4 1/4 by 11 size card. A little, fun to kind of do the sideways and alternative design. Alrighty, so there's my 2 projects. I have a third one in the brew, but it's not done yet. So stay tuned for that. And I'll probably be sharing that on Instagram. I've been doing some Instagram reels lately. If you haven't checked me out on Instagram, do that. It's super quick, like on high speed kind of videos, how to make something super fast. And it's been kind of fun to play with that. So what about putting some embellishments on the sentiment? Oh, well, yeah, I could do that. What do I have? Where are my embellishments? I have the ones that go with this suite. Question, though, is where are they? 1 second. I'm going to go and find them in my little bucket. Here they are. Got this huge container of all my supplies for the all about the autumn leaves. Oh, okay, I'm back. You guys can hear me, right? I don't know why it turned off all of a sudden. So strange. Um, all right, so there we go. I guess I now need some embellishments on this one. It looks naked now. So there we go. You guys good with those embellishments? Yeah, I think it's a nice little addition. Bring some color into this and kind of this less open space and whatnot. So there you go. There's my card. So I challenge you guys to find a designer paper you love and do one of these cards. They're super simple. And if you, yeah, you can even cut two of these at the same time with designer series paper because it's fairly thin. And just so you know, I've used this one for the larger size pieces. And so the middle two size pieces. So this one for the sentiment. So I didn't use the biggest and smallest, just the middle two sizes for this card. You could play around with using the smaller size ones and kind of build more of a puzzle. The bigger ones, of course, make it simpler, less different patterns and whatnot. So, alrighty, just a couple of quick reminders. Of course, the Autumn Leaves class registration ends on, I don't think I have it on here. I just published the details about it yesterday. The registration closes on the 18th of this month. It's my club class also, so you can get free class project kits when you're part of my club. It does require a product purchase to be part of club, and then you get some free product at the end. But I also do it as an a la carte class, so that's what this Autumn Leaves class is. I'll show you the projects in just a sec. There's also a new Christmas card kit, the kit collection, Christmas Everywhere. It has some palm trees and whatnot in it because there are some parts of the country where it is summer at Christmas time, like Australia, I think it is. I mean, the world, I should say. So anyway, it's a really cute little kit. Watched the video the other day. There's also 5 new online exclusive designer series papers, which are really pretty. I got one of them. Should be coming in my order in the next couple days. World Card Making Day is coming up on October 7th. Super fun. Customers and demonstrators can join in for that. There's a registration link in the description of this video if you want to join in. Pretty sure I put that registration link in there. Yes, I did. I know I did. And I'm going to go live next Thursday as well. My next Facebook Live will be next Thursday, the 14th of September. Probably take the week after that off. Yeah, to take a little break. But there you go. That's all the stuff that's going on right now. And I'm going to show you quickly the projects that are part of the Autumn Leaves class. Some are simpler than others, but I think they're all really beautiful. So there's one. I had to slightly adjust these because some of the ribbon that's part of the suite is not going to be available for a while. So that's sort of the technique-y oriented card. Super pretty, I think. So we're going to be using some different, we won't be using the ribbon in the suite. It's gorgeous ribbon in the suite, but it's not going to be available until like the end of October. So this is the ribbon. It's this beautiful, thick, I don't even know if it's linen, but it's beautiful. And then this copper trim. So hopefully it's going to come back before too long. I did a really cool thing, and I will show people how I did it with that copper trim. I'm just going to quickly show you guys this little element I have in here with the copper trim, which if you have that twine, you'll be able to use it, the copper. All right, but yeah, just got to pivot with what's available since I won't be able to get that ribbon for the class. So there'll be some other things that go with the kit. All right. that's it for me tonight, guys. I'll be back next Thursday for another project. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's project and consider signing up for the Autumn Leaves class. It's going to be a really fun one. I will have an in-person class for my club and for people who are local on the 22nd of this month, and then there will be a Zoom class for people who do the a la carte class and are my online club members on October 18th. So there's a little bit of delay so that I can get all those items out to people in the mail, get things prepared and ordered and all that good stuff. So consider signing up. It's all details are in my newsletter. Went out yesterday. All right, everybody. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for joining in, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Happy crafting. Make your cards. Make this layout with your designer paper. It's fun. I promise you. Good night, everybody. And an extra special welcome to Carol, your first night here. I'm so glad you're here with us. And thanks to all of you who are my regulars visiting and joining in for some crafting tonight. We'll see you next week. Bye.